You keep praying, and the silence feels heavier than the question you asked. You wonder if you said it wrong, waited too long, or missed something God expected you to notice. The silence does not feel neutral. It feels like distance, and that unsettles you more than doubt ever did. You replay your prayers in your mind. You measure your obedience against the delay. You start asking whether unanswered prayer means disapproval. You do not say it out loud, but the thought stays with you. If God is good, why does he stay quiet when you are trying to listen? At first, you tell yourself to be patient. You remind yourself that God works in his time. That explanation holds for a moment, then slips away when the waiting continues. You are not just waiting for an answer. You are waiting for reassurance that you are still seen. And the longer the silence lasts, the more personal it feels. You begin to adjust your expectations. Maybe the answer is no. Maybe you should move on. But the question does not release you that easily. It follows you into quiet moments. It surfaces when you are tired, when discipline feels thin, when obedience costs more than you expected. Why would God let you sit in this? That question tightens something inside you, because you did not ask for comfort alone. You asked for clarity. Psalm 13:1. The words do not solve the silence. They sit with it, and that feels different. You start to notice something uncomfortable. When God doesn't answer, you immediately assume the problem is your position, your faith, your worth. But silence is not always correction. Sometimes it is exposure. It reveals what you believe God owes you. It reveals how quickly you connect answers with approval. It reveals how uneasy you become when control slips away. That insight offers a brief sense of relief. Maybe you are not being punished. Maybe the silence is not rejection. But relief fades when another question rises. If God is not correcting you, then what is he doing? You look for movement. You look for signs. You look for anything that confirms progress. And when you find none, the tension returns. Because waiting without feedback feels like standing still in the dark. You begin to realize that what unsettles you most is not the lack of an answer. It's the loss of certainty, the loss of being able to measure where you stand. You would rather receive a hard no than remain suspended. At least a no gives you direction. Lamentations 3:31-32. Those words do not rush you forward. They slow you down. They suggest that absence does not equal abandonment. Still, another conflict presses in. If God is near, why not speak plainly? Why let you wrestle at all? Because you want information, but God is shaping orientation. You want to know what will happen. God is forming how you wait, and waiting exposes what instruction cannot. Silence strips away performance. There's no applause, no visible progress. What remains is whether you will stay obedient without reassurance, whether you will pray without leverage, whether you will trust without explanation. That realization is not comforting. It raises the cost. It means the silence is asking something of you, and that tension deepens because obedience without clarity feels risky. It feels like stepping forward without guarantees. Isaiah 30:15. The verse does not promise speed. It points to posture, and posture is harder to maintain than motion. You may be misreading silence as neglect, but silence often signals transition, not toward ease, but toward maturity. God is not withholding direction because you are failing. He may be quiet because you are being prepared to move without leaning on constant confirmation. That does not remove the weight. It changes how you carry it. You are still tempted to demand answers, still tempted to bargain, still tempted to interpret quiet as disapproval. But something shifts when you stop asking, "Why isn't God answering?" and start asking, "What is this silence revealing about how I follow?" John 6:68. There is no resolution in that moment, only recognition. Following God has never depended on full visibility. The silence does not end because you understand it. It ends when it has done its work. And sometimes that work is teaching you to remain steady without relief. God's quiet does not mean he has stepped away. It means he is not rushing to remove the weight that is forming your strength. You are not being ignored. You are being entrusted with a deeper kind of obedience, one that does not depend on immediate answers. So the question changes, not when God will speak, but whether you will remain faithful before he does. And that's where clarity finally arrives, not as information, but as responsibility. You can walk away from the silence, or you can walk through it without demanding it change first.